Welcome to Rulers World TV. This is Weekend News Recap. My name is Ololade Bolariwa. Federal government renames University of Maduguri after Buhari. The federal government on Thursday has officially renamed University of Maduguri in honor of late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The announcement comes after Buhari's passing, recognizing his contributions to national development, particularly in education and security during his tenure. The institution will now be known as Muhammadu Buhari University, Maiduguri. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made the pronouncement at the special valedictory section of the Federal Executive Council to honor the former President Buhari, who died on Sunday in London Clinic and has since buried on Tuesday in his hometown, Daura. Many speakers at the event also eulogized the great accomplishment of Buhari. The family of the late President Buhari were also in the attendance graced the section. Governors reject Electricity Act amendment. Some Nigerian governors are not happy with the new Electricity Act amendment. They are asking the National Assembly to stop it, saying it could lead to over 5 trillion in extra subsidy and makes life harder for regular Nigerians. They also believe it will take power away from the states and cause higher electricity bills. Atiku Abubakar resigns from PDP. Former Vice President and two-time presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP). In a letter dated July 14 and addressed to the PDP chairman of his Ward 1 Jeddah in Adamawa State, Atiku cited that it was called irreconcilable differences and accused the party of straying from its founding principles. The letter surfaced online earlier this week, just days after the burial of former President Muhammadu Buhari, triggering mixed reaction across Nigerian political space. In his reaction, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State said PDP is bigger than any individual. While speaking to journalists in Akure earlier this week, Governor Makinde described Atiku's resignation as no threat to the PDP, stressing that the party remains an institution, not an individual. In his words, politics is a game of interest. If someone's interest is no longer aligned with the party, there is nothing wrong with leaving, but PDP is bigger than any single player, he maintained. Governor Makinde went on to say that if anyone is holding back the party, it is even better that such a person steps aside. He emphasized continuity, nothing. Players will come and go, but our state and country will remain. The Oyo governor appeared confident and unshaken, calling on members of the PDP to remain focused on the goal of nation building and delivering good governance. Also, Chief Bode George, a PDP party chieftain, in his reaction expressed deep concerns over Atiku's departure, trying it to what he called former Vice President excessive ambition to contest again in 2027 presidential election. According to him, this ambition to be president has completely taken over him. It's shocking. He has done this before, left, returned, and now once again is walking away from the party. The PDP chieftain called on Atiku to take a step back and reflect on his political journey, warning and repeated defections could harm the party structure and public trust. Still on Atiku's resignation from PDP, the Adamawa PDP led the state's chairman, Barrister Ahmed Shiu, described Atiku's resignation as shocking but destabilizing, affirming the party's resilience. The former president is undoubtedly a great asset, but our party, as a strong nationwide structure, will remain a big winning force, he concluded. Meanwhile, the Minister of Aviation All Progressive Congress, APC chieftain Festus Keyamo, in an opposition tune, criticized the timing and legality of Atiku's resignation, calling it opportunistic and misuse of Nigerian coat of arms. Keyamo boldly attacked former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over the release of resignation letter from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, calling the move selfish, poorly timed, and legally questionable. In a statement shared on his official X account, Keyamo condemned Atiku's decision to publicize his withdrawal from the PDP during the national mourning period for the late President Muhammadu Buhari, who passed away just days ago. He said Atiku's resignation letter during the solemn period is clearly an attempt to withdraw the spotlight away from the late president and direct it onto himself. Berated Atiku's move as obsessional of perennial presidential ambition and knows no sympathy or empathy. The minister also criticized Atiku's use of Nigerian coat of arms on the letter, describing it as unlawful under the Flag and Coat of Arms Section 6 which prohibits private citizens from using official emblems in political personal documents. Keyamo warned that such an act amount to impersonation, especially coming from someone who left public office more than 18 years ago. So far, Atiku Abubakar has not issued any official response to the allegations, but the political temperature continues to rise 2027 approaches. However, African Democratic Congress ADC spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi welcomed the article from a defection, stating the ADC are excited to have someone like the former vice president formally join the party. Atiku moves give us confidence and others will follow, says Bolaji Abdullahi. Away from that, Peter Obi pays emotional tribute to Buhari's grave, recalls former president's words on the poor. In another development, Peter Obi, former president candidate of the Labour Party, made a solemn visit to the grave of former president Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, Katsina State to pay his last respects following Buhari's passing. A visit marked by reflection and reference drew attention as Obi shared a poignant memory of conversation with the late president, highlighting Buhari's concerns for Nigerians poor. Obi, accompanied by a small entourage, arrived at Buhari's family home in Daura to offer condolences to the late president's family and the people of Katsina State. While standing on the gravesite, Obi spoke briefly to journalists, recalling a 2022 meeting with Buhari that left a lasting impression. He said to me, "Peter, you seem to be everywhere and loved by people, and I wish you the best. Please, if you win, do not forget the poor." Obi recounted, his voice singed with emotions, says those words stayed on me and they reflect the heart of a man who, despite the challenges, thought of less privileged. The visit underscored Obi's respect for Buhari's legacy as a leader who served Nigeria as a military head of state from 1983 to 1985 and as a democratically elected president from 2015 to 2023. Obi praised Buhari's simplicity and commitment to Nigeria, nothing that is aspires about prioritizing the poor reasonably deeply with his own vision of country. He stated that irrespective of political differences in perspectives, Buhari's desire for a better Nigeria, especially for the poor, was undeniable. He said he came to pray for his soul to assure his family and the people of Dara that his contributions will not be forgotten. Oni has been earlier criticized for not present at the burial day, which he claimed to be unavailability of flights to the venue. Buhari's death may spark shifts in Nigerian political landscape. The passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari has sparked significant speculation about the future of political loyalists, particularly those tied in the Congress for Progressive Change (CPC), the party he founded in 2009, but which later merged into All the Progressive Congress (APC). Buhari's death may reshape Nigeria's political dynamic with tensions emerging between the APC and the African Democratic Congress (ADC) as both vie for a substantial base of supporters, estimated over 12 million. General Salami Abubakar, a former military head of state, underscores the magnitude of Buhari's death, stating, "With the passing away of Buhari, politics in Nigeria will certainly change. I hope for the better. The sentiment reflects the potential for a significant shift in political landscape, particularly in the northern region, where Buhari's influence was strongest," Abubakar maintained. He said since President Bola Tinubu assumed office in 2023, the influence of CPC loyalists within the APC has noticeably declined, with prominent figures such as former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai and former Secretary to the Governor of Federation, Babachir Lawal. He openly opposed Tinubu's leadership and his potential bid for a second term. Added that the growing vote has furthered speculation that Buhari's loyalists may seek alternative, with the ADC positioning itself as a potential home for these deflected members. In the same vein, the ADC Interim National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi claimed in an interview with many of Buhari's allies have already joined the ADC coalition. He highlighted the presence of key CPC figures such as Babachir Lawal, Abubakar Malami, Issa Pantami, Emeka Nwajuba, Nasir El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, and Rauf Aregbesola in the coalition leadership, suggesting that this reflects Buhari's own alignment during his lifetime. Abdullahi argued that the APC has alienated Buhari's supporters by blaming him for Nigerian economic challenges, questioning why loyalty will remain in a party that that has demonized his legacy. Saliu Lukman, a former APC National Vice Chairman, Northwest, now with the ADC, emphasized that the Buhari's death marks the end of an era where his endorsement could virtually guarantee electoral success, particularly in the North. Speaking on Arise TV, Lukman urged politicians to adopt greater humility and engage directly with citizens to build supporting stating politicals must relate to citizens with higher humility rather than the current arrogance. He advocates for the ADC to develop a new political framework to meet Nigerians' expectations, moving away from reliance on individual endorsements. Despite these concerns, some CPC members remain loyal to the APC, including figures like Katsina State Governor Diko Reda, former Nasarawa State Governor Senator Tanko Alamakura, and NDLEA Chairman retired General Buba Marwa. However, party sources indicate that not all content with some aggrieved members potentially considering defection due to feelings of marginalization since Buhari exits from power. The APC Director of Publicity, Bala Ibrahim, dismissed the likelihood of mass defections, asserting that Buhari's loyalists remain ideologically aligned with the APC. He acknowledged the vacuum created by Buhari's death, but viewed it as an opportunity for parties to release and reconcile internal divisions. Similarly, former Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu, a CPC veteran, rejected rumors of his departure, reaffirming his commitment to the APC and his ambition to contest the Oyo governorship in 2027. Northern leaders are divided on the implications. Anthony Sani, former Secretary General of Arewa Consultative Forum, downplayed the risk of significant defections and argued that Buhari supporters are unlikely to betray his legacy, leaving the APC. He also questions the ADC coalition's viability, citing its lack of clearly policy differentiation and unfavorable zoning dynamics. Conversely, Yerima Shetima of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum warned that Buhari's death could create a power vacuum, placing the APC at a critical juncture. It suggested that the CPC bloc might either solidify its role within the APC as a guardian of Buhari's ideal or form a distinct political entity depending on how the party addressed public grievances. As the 2027 election approach, the competition for Buhari's political base will likely intensify, with the ADC leveraging its growing roster of CPC defectors and the APC striving in Britain its unity. The outcome will hinge on how both parties navigate the shifting landscape and address the expectations of Nigerians, particularly in the north, where Buhari's influence remains a potent force. Tanker explosion sparks panic at Selika Junction, Ibadan. A petrol tanker carrying about 33,000 litres of fuel went up in flames yesterday evening at Selika Junction along the Ife-Ibadan Expressway. The tanker reportedly had brake failure, overturned and caught fire. A nearby jeep also got burnt, but emergency teams responded quickly and managed to put out the fire. No deaths have been confirmed, but investigations are still ongoing. Now on global news. Syrian army withdraws heavy weapons from Suwaida after ceasefire. The Syrian military has begun withdrawing heavy weapons from the southern city of Suwaida following a fragile ceasefire. This comes after violent clashes between Druze militants, Bajoun fighters, and government troops who left over 250 people dead. The government says the operation against what is called Outlaws Group is over, and local Druze forces will now take charge of security in the area. Meanwhile, Israel, following recent airstrikes, has warned Syria not to return military forces near the Golan Heights. Though camps returning, scattered gunfire has been reported, raising fears the conflict may flare up again. Israel bombs Gaza only Catholic church, killing 2 civilians and wounding a priest. Israel has bombed Gaza's only Catholic church, killing 2 civilians and injuring several others, including the parish priest. The Holy Family Church was sheltering displaced families when the strike hit. People knew HIV and world leaders have condemned the attack, calling for an immediate ceasefire. The Israeli military says the incident is under review. The rising tension in the Middle East of Israeli warplanes struck Syria's capital, Damascus, overnight. The attack hit close to the country's military command center, targeting what Israel called strategic threats near a Golan Heights. Explosions were heard near the Defense Ministry, with reports of damage and possible casualties still under investigation. Meanwhile, the Syrian government has condemned the strike and warned of consequences. The region remains on the edge of fears of further escalation growth. That's all for now. I'm Olalade Balariwa. For more news updates, join us on our website at www.rulersworldtv.com and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Rulers World TV. Also follow us on all our social media handle X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all as Rulers World TV. Thank you.